lot of reasons why you're going to need to take personal days.
You don't have to quit your job in order
you don't have to
do
quit.
it.
Yeah, you don't have to quit your job in order to do it. We will hold the position, and depending upon the circumstances, we may even hire somebody and still hold the position. To like, if you're National Guard and you get sent out, like legally we would have to, but even non-legally, like we want to, because we want to treat you as people, and we've already trained you. You know what I mean? Like,
Invest the time and money.
Like 1 month of missing you is not worth the time and money of getting a whole new person. Okay, so then now we're talking about bereavement leave. An employee who wishes to take time off due to the death of an immediate family member should notify his or her superior immediately. Bereavement leave will be granted unless there are unusual business needs or staffing requirements. Leave requirements will be addressed on a case-by-case basis. You're not useful to us if you're thinking about the funeral you should have gone to. Just saying. Jury duty. Upon receipt of notification from the state or federal courts of an obligation to serve on a jury, employees must notify their supervisor and provide them with a copy of the jury's summons. You get out of your shift if you have to be at jury duty. We don't have a choice on that.
We want you to serve.
Yeah, we want you to
jury
serve.
if you're chosen.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous experience.
Bull.
No,
Anyways.
it is a fabulous
So boring.
experience.
I don't know what jury you were on. It's so boring.
Voting leave. Voting time. All employees should be able to vote either before or after regularly assigned work hours. However, when this is not possible due to work schedules, employees will receive up to 3 hours during the workday to vote. Time off for voting should be reported and coded appropriately on timekeeping records. Look, we're actually kind of going to be we're going to talk about this later, but we're kind of a socially active business. Voting's very important because otherwise the Republicans win. Okay.
Alabama. Thank you. Okay.
Election leave. Employees who are chosen to serve as election officials at polling sites will be permitted to take required time off to serve in this capacity. It is incumbent on employees who are chosen to act as election officials to notify their manager a minimum of 7 days in advance of their need for time off in order to accommodate the necessary rescheduling of work periods. Time engaged as an election official should be reported and coded appropriately on timekeeping records. Chances are, this doesn't surprise you. I need a week to change the schedule. Military leave of absence. Southern Velvet Cafe is committed to protecting the job rights of employees absent on military leave. In accordance with federal and state law, it is the company's policy that no employee or prospective employee will be subjected to any form of discrimination on the basis of that person's membership in or obligation to perform service for any of the uniformed services of the United States. Specifically, no person will be denied employment, reemployment, promotion, or other benefit of employment on the basis of such membership. Furthermore, no person will be subjected to retaliation or adverse employment action because such person has exercised his or her rights under applicable law or company policy. If any employee believes that he or she has been subjected to discrimination in violation of company policy, the employee should immediately contact management. Employees taking part in a variety of military duties are eligible for benefits under this policy. Such military duties include leave of absences taken by members of the uniformed services, including reservists and National Guard members, for training, periods of active military service, and funeral honors duty, as well as time spent being examined to determine fitness to perform such services, subject to certain exceptions under the applicable laws. These benefits are generally limited to 5 years of leave of absence. Employees requesting leave for military duty should contact management to request leave as soon as they are aware of the need for leave. Legally, we have to hold your job if you're going on leave. We need to know that this is going to happen. There's at least 2 weeks in the year that Scott's going to disappear for National Guard duties. Because they do some weird training things. If you're in the National Guard and you need to go to a school for extra training, maybe for promotion in the National Guard, again, we want to support your outside of us activities as much as we want to support your inside of us activities. Please just let us know. Don't worry about taking the time. You won't lose your job over this. Lactation, breastfeeding. For up to 1 year after a child's birth, any employee who is breastfeeding her child will be provided reasonable break times as needed to express breast milk from her baby. Southern Velvet Cafe has designed
Her baby?
for Well, we don't judge whichever way you want to do it. No.
Okay, thanks.
Southern Velvet Cafe has designated the Rocket Baby room for this purpose. A small refrigerator reserved for the specific storage of breast milk is available. Any breast
Or
milk
will be available.
will be available. Any breast milk stored in the refrigerator must be labeled with the name of the employee and the date of expressing breast milk. It's milk. Food safety laws require you to date and timestamp.
And also put your name on it so no one else takes it.
That
It'll
could
be
awkward.
it'll be in the office, so hopefully no customers will try to take it.
Any
Sweeter
non-conforming
than usual.
Oh,
Any non-conforming products stored in the refrigerator may be disposed of. If there's not a time date on it, we have to assume it's expired. Just so you know. Employees storing milk in the refrigerator assume all responsibilities for the safety of the milk and the risk of harm for any reason, including improper storage or refrigeration and tampering. Employees who work off-site or in other locations will be accommodated with a private area as necessary. Breastfeeding mothers who wish to have an outside party bring their baby in to be fed on a set schedule agreed upon by management will be accommodated if at all reasonable. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather you bring your child in, go take a few minutes in the Rocket Baby room, and come back than storing the milk. Less room, less time labeling. It's generally easier. If you have kids, if you're breastfeeding, don't be afraid to do that. You don't have to either, though. We will store the milk, but you get the time. Breastfeeding could be important. So, workers' compensation benefits. The company is covered under statutory state workers' compensation law. Employees who sustain work-related injuries must immediately notify their department or supervisor. Stuff happens. We work in a dangerous environment. We've talked about all the steam. We've talked about the ability to burn yourselves. We probably have more ways to burn yourself than Walmart has ways of doing anything. So stuff happens, and when we say burn yourself, like a steam burn is generally classified as a second-degree burn. Okay? A severe steam burn then is a third-degree burn. Both of these burns probably require some sort of medical attention. If you injure yourself on premises doing your job because life happens and you have to take time off, we are legally required to compensate you for that, so that you don't lose your house or anything over this. We're not going to be one of those companies that just fires you because we now have to compensate you for workers' comp. There are safety procedures. We're going to train you in safety procedures. We're going to hope you use the safety procedures.
life happens.
Life happens. Safety procedures don't always protect you. So, hours of operation. Southern Velvet Cafe will be open from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, except Tuesday, and 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Employment policies. On time. What's that? It is Southern Velvet's policy for all employees to arrive when they are scheduled. 10 minutes after the start of the shift is very late, and we will be calling you and or attempting to cover your shift. We will first try to call you. If we don't get a hold of you, we will cover your shift. If we cover your shift, you lose it.
If we cover your shift and you show up, you don't magically get your shift. You go home.
Yeah, we covered your shift. Somebody gave time to come in. We are going to reward that.
Yeah. You're going home and we're going to have a conversation later.
Yeah.
Because we're not happy.
Now that doesn't mean that if you completely sleep through half your shift or whatever, not to call me. No call, no shows are a major problem. Call me, tell me what happened. I'll probably be understanding.
One time, I overslept for my shift 2 nights in a row. And they all thought, the first night it happened, they all thought I had died. Because I never, ever showed up late. Ever. And it was a midnight expediting shift at Waffle House. And the first night I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And the second night I called and I was like, it happened again. And it was the most embarrassing thing of my life. So I've been there.
And it's embarrassing. But do know that when you're doing it, we are panicking. And we would love to hear, yes, I'm still alive.
Yeah. Because if somebody's 10 minutes late to a thing, I start thinking they got in a car accident. Like, that's where my brain goes.
I'm gonna picture Becca in a ditch on 90.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. That's
Yeah.
reassuringly specific.
Well, because I've driven 90
And
in
if
the
this-
dark before.
And if this happens, like, call us. We can help you try to fix this.
Yeah,
Like, we may have resources.
right.
It's impolite and a major hassle to your fellow employees to be late, and often leads to drama and trust issues. Please keep your fellow employees in mind and just show up when scheduled. Requesting time off. Management would appreciate a 2 weeks notice. Oh, I think we should switch that to a week. But a 2 weeks notice in writing before needing time off. Truthfully, the more notice and reminders, the better. It's important to say reminders. If you ask me 3 weeks or a month or even 3 months in advance for time off, I don't remember. I agreed to it, I wrote a note, I lost the note, and I remember nothing.
What's the best way? Email, text, or verbal?
Honestly, text. Text is probably the, I might need a verbal too, but text is probably the best way because I read my text a lot. Because each of you will have a file of
Yeah.
texting things
Yeah,
that'll
sticky
go
notes are
running
great,
through.
but they fall off the wall.
Yeah,
Like,
sticky notes get lost, notes get lost. Notes are the worst way. Don't hand me a note in writing. Notes that will be lost. That will be lost the minute you turn around.
And it's still her fault. Don't get us wrong.
It
But
is, but it will be lost the minute you turn around.
No generous, yeah. You are literally a 2-year-old.
She's literally a 2-year-old.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's my 2-year-old. Like,
Uh-huh.
baby, keep this paper right here. I turn around and
God.
Just
God.
leave a trail of sticky notes.
yeah,
Um,
I'm telling you.
But even in text, if
I
you
threaten
text
to
me,
staple things to her. Yeah.
even in text, if you text me 3 weeks in advance, I'm not going to check that text until the day you're already late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I may go looking through it
Text
occasionally,
you
but
give you plausible deniability.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
And a
paper
text-
trail.
A text. The reason text works great is because it's on my phone. It's on your phone.
Yeah.
Like, there's 2 ways to look at this.
Yeah.
So remind me. Like,
Speaking of, have we heard from Allie?
not
I
yet
have heard
today.
I have heard from Allie today. She's
Oh.
having some issues.
Okay.
She's days in. The end she's supposed to have is having some phone issues.
Okay.
Okay. So she's not going to have internet
She has.
stuff?
Well, she's still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
I'm not.
I'm
stressed.
currently recording you, so that's fine.
No
Excellent. Okay. Where are we at? Oh yes. Pressing him off. If we have a timely notice, putting it in the schedule and not freaking out becomes easier, and we can avoid system shock on the rare occasion that we have to flip a schedule upside down. I like to keep a constant schedule. Please check it weekly anyways. If you have a sudden illness or emergency, please call us as soon as possible so that we can cover your shift. If your illness or emergency lasts for multiple days, we may require a written doctor's note to ensure you are fit to return to work.
Not to prove you were sick.
Not, yeah, I don't, if you're sick, if you're throwing up one day and you feel fine the next day, I believe you. You were throwing up. I don't want to see that. It's fine. If you're throwing up for a week straight, there's a pretty good chance that you got some sort of foodborne illness. If you get some sort of foodborne illness,
We have legal requirements before we can let you back.
yeah. Besides that, it could be something, even if it wasn't foodborne illness, if you're throwing up a week straight, it could be something serious. We want to make sure your health is important to us. You know, we want to make sure you're going to live through the next shift. Schedules will hopefully be pretty regular, meaning you should have a regular shift. But sometimes things happen and we may have to adjust the schedule, so even though you work the morning shift 5 weeks in a row, please check the schedule every week because you never know what the next week's schedule is. Cover shifts and overtime. We've all been here. Speaking of rudeness and drama, not coming in for a shift is very troublesome. If you're sick, please don't come in. We don't want that spreading. Instead, call in at least an hour before your shift. I don't know about an hour, but the more time you give me, the better off I am. And the manager on duty will cover your shift. If you have a foreseeable issue, then please work with a manager to cover your shift. And for those who cover shifts for others, think of the money and the thanks you will get because management is grateful. And think of the thanks that that you'll get from the other people. You cover a shift today, you could be running into an emergency. They may cover that shift later. Somebody's sick and we're trying to find somebody in. You cover their shift, and you want to take a day off just because to take a day off. They may need to recover that money, and because you covered their shift, they're more willing to say yes. You know, it's a lot of good reasons for covering shifts. Be nice. Why cover shifts? People who cover shifts, I just went over that, are better liked people have a better chance of others helping them out when they need it. Management sees and appreciates employees who go the extra mile, making us more likely to grant requests. Not guaranteed. I'm surprised that sentence actually made it through Stephanie's filter, but yeah. It's not guaranteed. We're not supposed to have favorites. The truth is, my favorite is the person who covers shifts. And yeah, if you're my favorite, chances are if two of you request the same day off, my favorite gets it. That's not policy.
All management decisions are joint. Alice is not solely in charge of anything.
It's true, but I will fight for you. So
And
you know,
Alice can be very annoying in a fight.
exactly. The other part is that in our training system, we're going to get to this later, but in our training system, one of the requirements to artisan is to prove that you're willing to do things like cover shifts. Uniform. We're going to get to this in detail later. Southern Velvet is proud of maintaining a 50s environment for our customers. The clothing you wear will be a large part of the customer's experience. It's your responsibility to wear outfits that don't draw the customer out of the environment we've worked so hard to create. Though this may seem an intimidating prospect, the 50s style is classic enough that you most likely have pieces already in your closet that will, when applied correctly, be eminently suitable. Apart from merely conveying a 50s theme, it is important that your clothing also be reasonably demure, clean, and have enough coverage to protect you from potential hot liquid spills. Because those potentials are reality. It's gonna happen. You're gonna drop it on yourself. Closed-toed, slip-resistant shoes are a requirement for those working in both the kitchen and front of house. Aprons will be provided on either a checkout basis, where you will be able to claim a specific apron, but you will be responsible for its cleanliness and maintenance, or on a day-to-day basis, where we will provide a clean apron to you daily, but cannot promise availability of any particular aprons. Like she said, she's making most of them. She's bought a couple of them. There will be a line for you to choose from.
I've got to make more for Scott and Alberto because a lot of them are fluffy and pink. But
You're allowed to wear frills. It's
yeah,
fine.
you can wear the
Yes.
fluffy pink one. I'm probably going to put one on Scott at some point. But
Me too.
I also have some other fabric that,
Maybe flip screen.
yeah, exactly.
Hair should be in service environment appropriate hairstyle when working front of house. Oh, that's not when working front of house. Hair should be in a food service environment appropriate hairstyle. Period. This means there should be minimal risk of your hair interfering with your duties or contaminating customers' food or drink. When working in the kitchen, a hair net and a beard net, if necessary, will be provided. Nails should be kept neat and trimmed. Polished and realistic fake nails are permissible provided you wear gloves in the kitchen and they are kept in a chip-free and neat condition.
Time out.
Time
That's
out.
making you to move your truck a little bit.
Okay.
Good, I've used the bathroom. And my leg's asleep, so I'm going to walk in front of you.